Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Here you see me using a very small stencil to airbrush in the color of the eye here. And I didn't mix the color. I'm going to be laying another color over top of this to kind of blend in to make the color. So this is just a really bright blue right now. And then I'll be laying in a kind of a turquoise color over that. And then a little bit of yellow around the pupil. So you see me coming in here with this airbrush is a PS Creos 267, and I really like this airbrush. I actually even prefer it over the 270 because of the grip on it. The 270 has an angled grip on it, and it's kind of just weird. You know, my hand, I like something that my hand can grip around, and the 270 angles at a kind of a weird angle, and I just don't prefer it. But here I'm adding a little bit more yellow around the pupil over on the right side of the eye. And you can see right now, it looks a little weird, but once I start adding in the other colors, it will pop out. I'm using a Tombow eraser to come in and just erase out some little highlights around the pupil there where it might want to look brighter. If you look in a eye, you can see little spectras of light colors that come out, and it really adds to the detail of your photo when you add those in instead of just one solid color. Makes it look more real. And the Tombow eraser is just a very fine eraser on the end. It's kind of a soft eraser. It's not an aggressive eraser. And it kind of gets in the corners a little bit more. And if you need to take off extra color, you can always dampen the end of it. And it will give you a very bright highlight. This tutorial kind of teaches you how to erase to get the highlights that you want, and the textures that you want in skin are very important. And yes, it's tedious work. It's a lot of spraying on your color and then erasing out, spraying on your color and erasing out. But that's what builds the 3D look in an actual photo to where it looks more real. And older people, sometimes they have like a bluish tints here and there, and even in their skin. You can see on the left, or to the left as you're looking, it's more reddish color. That's because this is going to be a shadow. If you look at the reference photo, there's going to be a dark shadow on that side, but she's got a little red on her cheek there. And up in her forehead area, there's like a light blue tint to her one side where she's got her forehead wrinkled up. And here I'm laying I think I'm laying some violet here, a very dark violet around that blue before I actually lay down the little black line. And that's just to add a little bit of color here and there to the eye itself. Here I'm putting in some shadow, and I'm using that circle to kind of go around in a circle the shadow where the shadow's going to be, even off to the eye itself. And I could have just used a curve, another like stencil with a curve, but I just chose to use that. Here comes my dog. You can tell he needs his nails clipped. I gotta say, this is a little harder than what I thought it would be. I've not done a very old person before with all the wrinkles, and this is my first try at it actually. I've done a lot of portraits in my life, but never an old person with a lot of wrinkles, and this is a bit challenging for me. And I'm finding that even these wrinkles on the photo are different colors. So it's kind of, I may have to do another one just for the challenge, you know. It's a good challenge for me. I struggle with some things. Water's one of them. I do not know why. I think just different kinds of water, I guess. Some waters I can do pretty good, and others I just can't seem to get it to look like water. But I think this is coming along pretty well for my first try. I first had the skin too dark and had to lighten it. And the Tombow eraser is great for just picking out little highlights, erasing little highlights in the skin, because you have a lot of uh, different things going on in texture in the skin with wrinkles, and you can use like a texture stencil to spray on some texture in the skin and then erase around it, and it really makes the skin pop out. After looking at this when I did it, I realized that pupil on that left side was just a little bit off. So I came back in and erased one side of it after the video. So the next video you'll see where it's straightened up. And I'm just spraying around the eye here to darken it up a little bit. Then I'm going to spray in some shadow around that eye. And it's all about making those eyes look glassy, you know. The shadow and the highlights are very important to get the eyes right. In any portrait, in any piece of animal, wildlife, the eyes are probably the most important thing. If you don't get your eyes right, the whole thing's not going to be right. And then I'm just taking the eraser and going around and just tracing out over top of the darker areas here, just to give some texture here and there in these wrinkles. And it's not completely done because there's some red that goes in there in different places, but you can really add a lot of little tiny wrinkles and things in between just by going back over your darker areas there and picking out some highlights here and there. And that's what I'm doing here. You can use an aggressive eraser also if you want to put in some really bright highlights in here. More X-Acto knife. But it's really, now I'll spray another tint over this of color and then erase again. So it's just building it up. There, I'm going down on the side of, and I know it's a lot of work. I probably spent more time on this than I have a regular portrait, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. And the eyelashes on the right side there, I used a just a black Inktense pencil, and because I wanted to see how that would work on the eyelashes instead of doing just spraying in black. I could use a stencil also to spray in those eyelashes. I have one where that has different curves on it, but they don't look very natural because the tip of is like a blunt, and eyelashes are not blunt when they come to tip. They're more pointed out. Here I'm adding that shadow in around the eye with just a dark sepia color. Building that up. I do gotta say, guys, I tried that E-Tack paint, and there's gonna be no going back. I mean, I'm not using it on this because I didn't start out using it on this picture here, but I've got to tell you that E-Tack paint is terrific. It sprays like a urethane. There's hardly any tip dry at all. You don't have to keep picking your needle off. I mean, it sprays. I mean, you got to give it a try. The only place I found it at was Airbrush Brothers, and it took a little bit to get it, but I ordered just a few bottles just to try it because I didn't want to spend a bunch of money, because I had just gotten a lot of ink, Holbein ink airbrush paints. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I'd already spent a lot of money on the Holbein. So I ordered just a few, and oh man, I am sold. Of course, I had to get the series that's made for t-shirts, but I tried it on the panels that I like to use, and it erases off, and it also erases off the synthetic paper. I've tried that on it. So it's going to be great for portraits or animals or whatever. So I'm sold on it. I probably won't go back to using, I'll probably give my other paints away, to be honest. That's how well I like it. It's just now I got to order the other, a lot more colors. So, you know, us artists, we're always putting money in our work, probably more money in our work than we get out of it, really. But it's worth it if you find something that really works for you and saves you time and flows good for you. You just thin it with distilled water, and it's just a wonderful paint. And you clean your airbrush with the same thing. I was kind of hesitant to trying it at first because I thought I got all this paint. I got illustration colors, I got Wicked colors, I got ink colors, I got chroma colors, and this guy on the site said to try it, so I did, and oh man. Thank you, by the way, if you're watching this. Cold in Indiana, 18 degrees, and it's snowing again. Ha! I keep saying I'm going to move, but I never do. Family's here, you know. But if something ever happens to my husband, I'll probably move. I need warmth. If you notice up where I'm erasing now, I have sprayed with a skin texture stencil up there to make some like little freckle things. I don't know what else to call them. But it really, yeah, with that number 5 stencil from Drew Blair, it really makes a lot of really cool texture in your skin that you would see on older people. You know, sometimes they have blackheads, and sometimes they have the little dark specks in their nose and things like that. So it's really cool. I'm just erasing on this one side before I darken it in over here with some darker color. I'm going to continue on with this portrait, and then on the next one you'll see the final touches that I'll put in. Probably do tutorial on the hair or the lips. Yeah, that's the next one, is doing her lips. So that's what you'll get when we come back again. This is a fiber pencil I'm using now, and I'm just putting it in one spot and then just kind of wiggling it a little bit, and it makes little tiny dots that puts those little bright high spectral highlights in the skin. And of course they'll be sprayed back over with a light tint of skin color and then brought out again, and that's where you get your depths at. I prefer this red fiber pencil over the black one. I don't know why, really. I think it's tinier. And the thing about when you wiggle this, sometimes you'll see it might look like little scratches, but when you spray back over it with a light tint of color, it kind of comes out to where you can use a soft eraser. Thanks for watching, guys. Next will be the lips. Come back.